It's the Manchester United review. Manchester City drew, Arsenal drew, Spurs drew, Liverpool lost, and Chelsea lost. I tell you what, if Carlsberg did weekends for Manchester United, it would probably be one of the best weekends. But they don't, so I'm drinking Guinness. But a fantastic start to, a fantastic weekend. There's more to delve into. It is the United stand, and we always look into things a little bit more than a plastic Arsenal fan. But I'm going to go to Kev first because he was at the game yesterday, and I'll throw a little, not a low baller in Kev, but we're 2 points off the top of the league. Is it time now for the people to start saying, stop this Lou Van Gaal out thing? Because I wasn't at the game, you were, but one thing I thought was a bit lazy from the crowd, I'm probably hanging myself here, was when the attack stuff started in the first half. I thought that was a bit naive. We were playing West Brom. They're brilliant at parking the bus, and I thought we were trying to break them down.
Yeah, I think that got to me a little bit. It's like when somebody picks the ball up about 40 yards out, and the pressure and the shout from the crowd, shoot. You're like, look round in my seat. I'm like, shut up, And yeah, we've got to come. We're getting used to, I think, this patient build-up. For me, yesterday, West Brom come to Old Trafford and they had one thing in mind. I think you mentioned it. They parked the bus, and that's exactly what they did. I don't think, as an attacking threat, they had any. They were not interested in coming forward. I think after the match, Tony Pulis said they wanted to get through the 60th minute and then give it a go. So I mean, that tells you everything you need to know about the game. For me, it was well disciplined, well drilled. We took our chances, and yeah, brilliant weekend. City and Arsenal have dropped points, and all of a sudden we're well in the mix. We were last week, in fairness, but this just makes it a bit sweeter this week because we are 2 points behind and looking very, very difficult to beat. West Brom found that out yesterday, and I think it's testament to Van Gaal now that teams are coming to Old Trafford, and although they're not thinking we're going to get beat, I think it is a struggle to break down that back four now, and it always helps having the world's best keeper in net. But yeah, teams are really struggling, and that's why we're keeping clean sheets.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not against people who are Lou Van Gaal out, and we will talk about that. I suppose we may as well talk about it now. I mean, they do, some people have got real depth to their argument. They say, he's a boring manager, it's never going to change. In fact, it doesn't. I can't think of the thought, but somebody actually said it, and hopefully it'll come back to me during the show, that it isn't going to change. He's not going to change his way of doing things. He's in his 60s. But yesterday, I mean, what I would agree. Well, I'll come back to it, but. Alex is here, but we'll let him set up. I mean, Drawty, where do you stand on this? I mean, we are 2 points off the top of the league. An interesting stat I threw up on Twitter today was that Chelsea have taken 12 games to get 11 points. We actually took 6 games to get 13 points, and we had that the first week in September. So, I mean, I know Chelsea are terrible and you love mocking them, but I just think Louis van Gaal, whether you like him or not, it's just back him. He's not going to get the sack. And if it's something to endure, being 2 points off the top of the league isn't that bad to endure.
No, it's not. I mean, one thing you got to remember is Leicester City are up there. Leicester are the same points as Man City. I mean, what the hell's going on there? But LVG, he reminds me a lot of Americans. He takes a lot of credit for things that he didn't actually do. With Lingard's goal, he's taking credit saying he told him to control the ball as well. A manager, even Gary Lineker said, he's literally just taking all the credit for everything. But he is that kind of manager. I'm not LVG out. We're not that bad in the league. We're only 2 points off the top. But then that's because other teams around us are losing points. It's not a crisis situation at the moment. It's not like we're dropping down the table and losing against everyone. We're not. We're not playing particularly attractive football. But again, what's wrong? We're 2 points off the top. No one can complain. So people who send LVG out, yeah, it's boring. It's not great to watch, but he's doing the job at the moment, and that's what he said he was going to come here to do.
Yeah, I totally agree. Somebody's saying, why is the viewing figures low? They tend to drop at the international break, but it is the last ever Downton Abbey. I think someone cooks a cake or something this week, so edge of the seat drama. But we've got Alex. Let's have a look at some of the comments there. Carrick fan says we've improved the defence, which we have done, definitely. Anna Dean, I don't know who that is. That's Alex, all right. But Alex, what was your thoughts on the game? I mean, I think it was you who tweeted me about this last night. Actually, I did find it absolutely hilarious. But this is Lou Van Gaal. That do you get is Lou Van Gaal now entering Fantasy Premier League because he's certainly taken the assist for Lingard's goal?
Yeah, I didn't hear about him saying that, but I'm sure we'll discuss it later. What really pissed me off, which my Chelsea friend was talking to me about as well, is that he came out after the game and being like that Scholes has clearly influenced the fans into turning against him, which is just ridiculous. But we can't complain points-wise, but I'd really love to see anyone who says that they actually enjoy watching us play at the moment. I mean, to be fair, we haven't been that amazing going forward, in my opinion, since like 2009, so that's nothing new really, but it is becoming like so utterly dire how bad we are going forward. But we seem to be clinical, but it just makes me wonder if we actually created chances with how clinical we have been, that we could score a bucket load, because we seem to. And I said before, I said I think it was actually 0-0 by this point, but I'm not going to be a hypocrite and retract the statement. I was saying maybe in the past I've been a bit harsh on Rooney. I still think that he is a shadow of what he was, but I seriously think Messi would even struggle to score goals in this setup, because we just create absolutely nothing, and it is relying on like Lingard's goal came. It wasn't like a well-worked goal. It was because they did a bad clearance that landed to Lingard, and it was taking nothing away from Lingard. It was a brilliant finish by him, but it wasn't like we fashioned that chance. And then the other one was Martial once again creating something out of nothing, which led to a penalty. So it's not like without those two mistakes, it would have been 0-0 again. So it's not like we were battering them. And apart from that, it's like Myhill didn't exactly have the busiest of days, did he? So, but in terms of the defence, we've done absolutely brilliant. We've conceded one goal at Old Trafford all season, and that one goal is going to go down probably as the goal of the season. So defensively, we're brilliant.
I mean, I said it last season. I mean, the one thing about Louis van Gaal is he's a very, very lucky manager. I mean, we've been doing this for over a year now. The amount of games we reviewed with you lot last year, and we were saying, how did we win that game? Southampton, Arsenal away. And Alex is probably right there, Kev. I'll feed back into that, but there's a couple of things I wanted to say. I don't think we moved up the chances table. I mean, Alex is very good on that. I don't know whether we're still bottom or if we moved up a little bit, because we didn't create that many chances. Berahino missed an absolute sitter. I mean, if anyone saw it on Match of the Day, I mean, I saw it live. I don't know how he missed that. I mean, David De Gea wasn't saving that if he put it anywhere on target, because it was a super cross. He just needed to put it on target. And at 1-1 that would have been very, very interesting. And there were people, I mean, I do watch the full-time Devils fan cams. I think they're very good. And there was a fan on there who was just berating Rooney, berating the performance and saying they're absolute tosh. And that was somebody who'd been to the game. So it's an odd situation. I find it really odd, but there is a real, and you obviously see it every game you go to. They're going to take some convincing, the fans, aren't they?
Yeah, and my only criticism, if you call it criticism, I mean, we've just beaten West Brom 2-0, and like I touched on before, they blatantly come to park the bus. It's very difficult to play against. Like after the CSKA game, I personally thought I was probably highly critical of United and the performance. But when I watched it back on the telly, they were well drilled. And again, I just think that it was a good performance on reflection. We've got a result out of it. Yesterday, the one thing, when I did come home, and again, I've watched it on Match of the Day, the concern is the lack of opportunities and like clear-cut chances that we're actually creating. I mean, even if you watch Man City today against Villa, which ended 0-0, I mean, City had 3-4 really good chances, and God knows how many attempts he actually had. But driving forward as a force, watching City today compared to where we are at the minute, it's just not happening in the final third. Lack of pace, I don't know what it is. We've got Martial, who should give us that pace. I thought he had a really good game yesterday. And yeah, my only criticism at the moment is, and I probably echo the thoughts of a lot of United fans, is the chance thing and the fact that we're not really creating much. It's really, we're walking a tightrope, because the one or two chances we are creating each game at the minute, we're putting all our eggs in one basket and hoping that we take one of them. And luckily enough, at the minute we are. But I mean, luck will run out soon, and it did really before this, because we were on this run of drawing games 0-0. Like I said, at the back, no problem. Defensively, looks solid, but it's getting this attack going in the final third. That's where it seems to be breaking down.
All I'd say is we are over 12 months into the Louis van Gaal era, and I can't think of many games, even when we were beating Spurs well at home, we don't create 10, 15 chances a game like like we used to, or like City do now, or teams do. We create 3 or 4 chances, and we normally score 1 or 2 goals, and on the odd day, we'll take all of those chances and get 3 or 4 goals. We just don't create much, and there's no excuse for that in the Premier League, but that is Louis van Gaal. That is who he is. Anyway, I just don't want to dwell on him for too long. We'll come back to those comments about fans being sheep if they listen to Scholes, which I thought was ridiculous, and that is basically what he says. So, but we will come back to that. I wanted to whiz through some of the players, some in the team, some not in the team. Nakalated Coley says that the international break has come at the wrong time, and one of the problems I had with that, Drawty, is that Rooney is playing both games for England again. He's in love with England. He's breaking the records. He's the captain. You know, Sturridge at the last international break was given the whole time off to rest. I think Rooney should be given some time off. I think Smalling should as well. But again, they'll probably play ridiculous. But very quickly, and I will come back to you with the next person. Very short answer. Rooney, yes.
Mark, is your thing frozen?
I am here. Can you hear me?
Okay, yeah, I can hear you now.
Rooney, mark out of 10 from yesterday.
6.
Okay, Alex?
For Rooney, he didn't play bad, but he didn't play well, but no one played particularly well, so I'd say 6 as well.
And Kev, you were at the game?
Yeah,
Rooney?
I think I'd agree with that, 6.
Yeah, I think 6 was pretty much fair. I gave him a 7 because I thought he did better than he has done. But somebody made this comment, and it was absolutely fantastic. They said that Rooney is essentially lowered expectations so much with his poor performances this season that when he has an average game, everyone says he's playing really well. And I'm going to leave it at that because I think it was spot on. I think that's very, very true. Right, Drawty, promised I'd come back to you. Next one up is, we'll do Lingard. We'll say Fellaini. Lingard. Now, I've tweeted this out, so people are probably joining this thinking what I'm on about. Can Lingard be as good as Walcott? Now, I'll leave it at that.
You make an interesting point. However, he is 23 next month, which people forget he's actually quite late in his development. For a winger to come in and everyone's saying, oh, he's going to be the next big thing. He is 23 next month. Let's not forget that. That's quite late for a player to be developing, which is the same as Tom Cleverley. And look how his career went after that. You know, he did play a good game yesterday. He was solid. But everyone's saying he's a great player and he's going to be great. And then he hit the crossbar against Man City, but I'm not seeing world-class potential. And for a player of that age, I want to see more in his game. He's saying he wants to get people off their feet and play really attractive football, but I don't know. I'm not convinced. I don't think he's like a Walcott-type player either. I mean, Walcott, he says he wants to be a striker, but he's not a striker, is he? He's not that great at finishing. Lingard, I think, is a solid winger, and I think he would be a great addition to the squad in replacement of Young, as he is approaching, he's into his 30s. I think Lingard is more a squad player. I don't think for the future he is one who's going to be first on the team sheet.
Yeah, Stuart Marston says Rooney needs to get to rest and get fitter, 6 out of 10. And Ibrahim Ahmed says Lingard can be better, he just needs to develop his final touch. Somebody said on one of our comments yesterday that I'm anti-Lingard. I don't know where that is, and I've asked for the evidence, but and my lawyers will be in touch. But I have said his final touch isn't that good, and his final touch is the problem. But he created a goal against Moscow, and he scored a fantastic goal yesterday. All I'd say in his defence is that although he's 23 next month, he lost a year through injury. And if you look at his physique, he is going to be a late developer. But age isn't. He's on his side. But you need this. This is great. That's why it's great that he's playing, because he needs to be playing and playing now. And it'd be a fantastic story if he can become a first-team player. Alex, next one. I'm going to save that one for Kev. So Herrera. A lot of people moaning about Herrera, saying he should be in the team. I'm quite relaxed about this now because, I think he probably should be in the team. But on this show especially, we seem to be constantly saying Herrera in. I think it was Kev who said 3 weeks ago against Everton, he's just proved that he cannot be dropped now, and he's dropped again. I mean, I've just accepted that Louis van Gaal is never going to have Herrera as a first-team player while we've got Wayne Rooney.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point. What you said about Rooney, that he's the only person that he's going to be dropped for. I really don't like Herrera in a two-man midfield in the double pivot. He worked a lot better when he was part of a three-man midfield last season in number 10, he can do a job there, and I would rather him be there than Rooney, but we have to accept that unless he gets injured, Rooney's never going to get dropped from that team. So I would have him there, but maybe I'd actually have Mata at number 10 over both of them, but because I think Mata's wasted out on the right. I know he does get the odd assist and the goal, but I think he would just be a lot better played centrally. But Herrera, he's never going to be a regular, like you said, because Rooney's never going to get dropped. He's never going to be a regular under Van Gaal at least. So yeah, I would play him, but he's not going to get played, so it's pointless to debate it really.
I'll let you have a word on that, Kev. I mean, what's your thoughts?
Well, yeah, I'm a massive Herrera fan. Want to see him in the team, and I don't know. I don't think it's going to be a turning point of the season yesterday that Rooney was substituted, but I had to rub my eyes when I was sat in the crowd because it's not often that you see that, especially under Van Gaal. But for me, the impression that Herrera made straight away when he comes on, I mean, he's just the ultimate professional. He doesn't strike me as a kind of lad that's going to shrug his shoulders or sit in the stands and sulk. He was chomping at the bit the minute he come on. I mean, the ball, the defence splitting pass that he played through to Martial, that's why United fans like me want to see him in that number 10 role, because that's the job of a number 10. The minute they get the ball, they should be seeing things happening in front of them before others do. And it's a pass like that through to Martial, who takes it on, wins the penalty, and it sews the game up for us. Mata obviously scores from the penalty. So yeah, for me, Herrera sees them things like Scholes used to do. You need them players in your team that see things ahead of them, because they can pinpoint and pick out passes that other players can't. And Rooney is not doing that at the minute.
I actually think we might have hit on something there inadvertently, in the fact that I've always said about Van Gaal, he doesn't like Herrera because he's a risky player, because he tries to play those balls, and 70% of the time it'll work, 30% you lose the ball. He hates that. But just picking up on, a lot of people were saying yesterday that Carrick had a bad game, and I was saying he didn't have a bad game. If you understand Michael Carrick, his positional sense was second to none, and Carrick plays Man United win 9 times out of 10. So, but he did give the ball away a lot. But when Carrick was giving the ball away a lot, he was trying to play that forward pass, and Van Gaal hates that. Schweinsteiger was playing the simple pass a lot, because that's what he does. That's why I think he played Morgan and Schweinsteiger and dropped Carrick for a bit, because Schneiderlin will play the easy pass. I think if you're a player who likes to play the forward pass, and I think we're coming on to this in a bit, but I think this is why Scholes has sort of piped up, because he knows that he probably wouldn't be appreciated in a Van Gaal team, because he doesn't like his midfielders to play forward passes. But I'll stick with you, Kev, on this one, because you were at the game. Jetson says Mata was average yesterday, and there was a couple of other people who said it as well. I've lost it, but I'll come back to that. But Mata has gone off the ball a bit, but he scored the all-important penalty, although it was late on. But as a long-term solution at right midfield, I mean, I know what I think, but is he a long-term solution for you at right midfield, Mata?
Quite simply, no. One of Juan Mata's, pace-wise, he's not exactly blessed with it. And you look at teams today, I mean, if you're playing with a front three or some kind of width, for me, Mata doesn't give you that. Now, it's testament to him. He's that good of a player that he's been filling in. And for me, he's been doing a job. He's assisting. He's scored goals as well, playing out on that right. But for me, again, we're accommodating, because, like I think Alex touched on before, if Mata's best position for me is as a number 10, and he's not really got many chances in that number 10 role. Never really had much of a run in the team. But I mean, I'd love to see him in behind Martial. I think that'd be a great role. And again, it gives you then the chance to bring somebody in on the right who has got pace and can attack, because Mata, as a number 10, which he was at Chelsea when we bought him, is always going to have a kind of tendency to come inside midfield, and that's where he's going to get congested. We don't have somebody who can hog the line, stay out. You know, they say get chalk on your boots, stay out there whipping balls in, because Juan Mata's not going to do that. But yeah, I think he's done a really good job, but long term, I do not see that as a position for him.
I agree, and just for a little bit of comedy, I'll keep the camera on Kev. He's actually watching Downton Abbey behind him. Now, if you have got it on record because you want to watch the United stand, you can pretty much watch it on Kev's video there. I mean, nothing's going to happen. Nothing. It's like watching United. Oh, but again, Kev again is making Goldbridge's mind tick here, because actually, no wonder we don't create any chances. He likes to play Schweinsteiger, he likes to play Schneiderlin. They'll play the safe ball a lot, very well. You then got Mata, who's got no pace and always cuts back. You then got Lingard or Young or Memphis on the left, who get doubled up on, or Lingard can't cross with his left. You then got Rooney, whose get-out ball is always the right back, who's normally Valencia, who can't cross. I mean, it's a miracle we create anything, really, when you look at it like that. But I've saved the best for you. We'll all go through this one because it's quite a big one, and I will comment on it, Drawty. But I said yesterday, I was in a happy mood yesterday when I heard that Fellaini got injured. I do qualify by saying that I don't like it when players get injured, but it just made me feel happy that, and it would have happened yesterday because it wasn't 1-0 till around the 60-minute mark, so there's a big chance that Fellaini could have been brought on at half-time, even started that game. And I was really happy that he couldn't start, he couldn't get involved, because it was against the team who parks the bus, who are very good in the air, and we proved you don't need Fellaini.
Oh, you're such a sadistic person, Mark. Seriously, you're the kind of person who wants Fellaini to run into like a crocodile nest and get eaten. I mean, every single Bond villain, you probably wanted to have something happen to him. But yeah, I've never rated Fellaini, to be quite honest. I don't really know what he adds to the team. Everyone says, oh, he's got height and he's a bit bitey and he gets stuck in and he's a good player. No, he's not. Even for Everton, he was an average. He was bang average. Everyone just overrates him. I'm happy he's not playing at the moment. I wouldn't wish ill on the guy. Not that I'm going to put like rice in or any kind of poison in his food. I'm not wishing him that bad, but I don't think he's the type of player that adds anything to the squad. And I'm with you. He's not missed. For me, he's just not missed. I don't care.
Well, to be honest, from United stand viewers at least, and it's flying in here, it's Gregory Burke, Fellaini stinks, Feed Khabib, Fellaini is effing awful, Moyes bought him over Ozil, enough said there. Tyler Mitchell, Marouane Fellaini is world class. What? Pure delusion if you don't rate him. Almost as bad as when Alex said Chocorito was shite. Oh, Tyler, and we normally respect your opinions. And Carrick fan, Fellaini, this is the best one. Fellaini is the Belgian Peter Crouch. I mean, let's be serious, Alex. I know you're quite pragmatic about these things, but I was happy with yesterday because Louis van Gaal, his plan B is always Fellaini, and he couldn't do it. And you sense that his substitutions were quite late yesterday because it was almost as if he was stuck. Oh, I've got no Fellaini to bring on.
Yeah, the substitutions were weird yesterday. I know he didn't play that great, but when we were 1-0 at home to Tony Pulis, I thought it was a bit of a negative substitution to bring Phil Jones on. I know he'd like shore us up defensively, but I wanted, like, in the past we would have gone to still attack. We wouldn't have accepted 1-0 at home to bloody West Brom. But then what was shocking, Georgie actually said it in the comment section earlier that we haven't touched upon yet, is that finally when he didn't even play a bad game for once, but he actually subbed Rooney off, which is weird. Normally Rooney, we've been asking for him to be subbed off when he's played badly, and he was just average yesterday. He wasn't like bad or anything, and he actually got subbed off. But yeah, overall, I think if he was fit, Fellaini would have come on, but he hasn't really done anything particularly good this season, but he hasn't really done anything particularly bad. I'm fine with Fellaini. I think he's a good backup, but I would never have him as a starter. But I think in like the last 20 minutes, if we need to just resort to a plan B and just hoof it up, I think he is a good option to have.
Oh yeah, totally agree with that, Alex. I think we've most of us have said that on that. But my concern and what's been frustrating me lately is that half time against Arsenal, Fellaini, 60 minutes against I think it was Crystal Palace or the game before that, Fellaini. It's the default. If it's not going right after an hour, Fellaini, and that's the problem. Fellaini works well, like against Club Brugge. Last 5 minutes, big balls in the box, Fellaini gets the winner. That's Fellaini's use. I'm not saying I'm not saying it. I'm not wishing bad on him at all, but Louis van Gaal just uses him way too often, and I think yesterday, Kev, showed that we don't need him, and actually let's use this squad of talent that we actually do have.
Yeah, the thing with Fellaini is if a game is 0-0 or we're chasing a game, if we're getting beat 1-0 and you see him warming up, it is, you sort of groan to yourself and you think, God, because you know what's coming next and you know exactly what tactics are going to be employed. And if you're looking for a goal, all of a sudden it all changes, because for me, his main attribute is height, and he can hold the ball up. And barring that, I can't think of anything else really. So yeah, I mean, the final 5 minutes, if you're looking for something, but it's not the United way. Many people will say it. Sir Alex Ferguson wouldn't have done it, and teams in the past would not have done it, playing a ball into a big man, changing your game totally to lump a ball into a man. And this is the kind of crack that Stoke get up to. I just don't agree with it. But Fellaini, did we miss him yesterday? Of course we didn't miss him. Would he have come on? Possibly, like you say, at half-time. And even a player like Herrera probably would have been overlooked to bring Fellaini on. I don't think we miss him. And I really just do not see where he fits in, because under Louis van Gaal, he believed at one stage he was going to be a number 10. He was good enough to play behind the striker, and now he's contradicted himself and come out and said he's a midfielder. And for me, with the midfielders that we've got now, we're quite blessed that we've got quite a strong central midfield. I just do not see where he fits in at all. I think we're actually kind of stuck with him at the minute, and we're trying to create a role for him, which we shouldn't, because he don't deserve to be in the team. Plain as simple as that.
No, I think you're spot on. I mean, because, you know, we've got midfield. Sometimes you need a big man, and Drake Gracia says there, as a former defender, the worst thing you want in the last 10 minutes is when you're tired and the momentum shifts is big balls into the box with a tall striker who's constantly on your back. I totally agree with that. But we've got midfield options that are different, and I agree with Kev there. Sir Alex Ferguson wouldn't do it. None of the top 4 teams would do it. We've got options if Fellaini's injured, like yesterday, where you've got Herrera, Pereira, Memphis, that sort of player on our bench. They're on our bench. Use them. That's what we want to see. And I think that's my problem with Fellaini, is that I don't like it. I just do not like that option of a player. If it's the last 5 minutes, that is fine. Beyond that, I don't like it. We've got to touch on this Louis van Gaal thing, and I'll go to you, Drawty, first about this. Basically, he can't drop it. I mean, I said last week he should have ignored it. Paul Scholes is a legend. For me, he's untouchable. Kev got excited about it last week. We all did, and we had a bloody good show about it. But he still can't drop it. You've beaten West Brom 2-0, and we're pleased with that. But don't come on the press conferences again and start having a pop at Scholes. And what he basically said is, the negativity, the reason the fans are shouting attack and booing us is because they're listening to ex-players like Scholes, which basically says fans don't have their own mind and they're sheep.
The problem with LVG is he always thinks he's right. You know, he thinks he is bigger than the club. His ego is huge. I'm going to go off on a tangent in a minute because, I mean, you know how badly England did in the rugby. Well, LVG would be the perfect manager to take over from Stuart Lancaster, because the only philosophy he knows is how to pass sideways and backwards. We are basically playing rugby at the moment. And the problem with LVG is he doesn't listen to the fans. He doesn't respect Scholes or the older players in the team. Scholes talks a lot of, you know, Scholes talks sense. He was in that team for a long time. He's one of the greatest midfielders Manchester United and England have ever had. And you've got a manager who's been in there, 18 months, slagging him off, saying, oh, you know, it doesn't matter what he says, you know, fans should listen to me. No, I'm sorry, LVG, you're wrong. You know, we are fans of the club, and we have been fans of the club longer than you've ever been manager. I think it's disrespectful for him to even think that, and I think it's naive to believe that he thinks the fans don't have their own mind. So, yeah, we need to start concentrating on supporting our own club and not listening to the manager who likes to play rugby.
No, I mean, I agree. I come to you, Alex, to get your opinion. I mean, this is the whole reason why we do this, because I think fans actually do have a better idea, not a better idea, but are on a level with pros. I mean, John Terry came out with nonsense this week. I don't normally stick up for Robbie Savage, who blocked me, but he basically said Robbie Savage's opinion doesn't count. I know he's trying to wind him up because he's not a top player, which again, he's just saying fan opinion doesn't matter. It's so arrogant, and I don't like it. And I think Louis van Gaal, I mean, Scholesy, what I would say is you've definitely got under his skin. I mean, I don't know what your thoughts on it, Alex.
First of all, I absolutely love that John Terry comment about mugging off Robbie Savage. I thought it was brilliant. But yeah, with the Lou Van Gaal thing, I don't know what it is. I don't know what he gained from saying that. Oh, Scholes is trying to turn the fans against him, because Scholes even complimented the defensive work of the team and said we have been defending really well as a unit, and he has sorted that out. And it's just, but I think it's a brilliant point what you made earlier, saying that Paul Scholes even would not have thrived in this system. It's like people in the comment section were saying about Schweinsteiger and Morgan Schneiderlin love a sideways pass, but they only love a sideways pass because Van Gaal is making them play sideways passes. They weren't playing those sort of passes at Southampton and Bayern Munich. It's just this play style. I sent a image to you yesterday at half time, and it was our pass map for that half, and literally from the bottom of the pitch to the top of the pitch, basically every single pass was sideways or like forward by the tiniest amount. There was no direct passes. It just really is ridiculous. And I think to criticise Scholes, and I've seen some of our fans turn on Scholes and like be insulting Scholes and calling him all the names under the sun, I think it's absolutely ridiculous, and people need to have some respect. Van Gaal, in terms of United, is an absolute nobody. Scholes is a legend, so I will take a side of a United legend over Van Gaal any day. And it's the same. Schmeichel has said that we're boring. Scholes has said we're boring. Neville said we're boring. Rio said we're boring. Just basically every single United pundit. Keane has said we're boring. So I don't know why people are all taking it out on Scholes, because it's not just Scholes that has said it. But yeah, I think it is absolutely ridiculous. And like you said, none of our legends would have thrived in this formation or playstyle role.
Well, we are boring, aren't we? I mean, let's be honest. I mean, I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it, and I don't want Lou Van Gaal to be sacked. And I hope we can keep on getting closer to titles and qualifying and everything like that. You look at what's going on at Chelsea and Liverpool, and you know the way our bread's buttered, it's fine. But we are boring, and I just think, Kev, that Lou Van Gaal is arrogant, and I know that's been said. But I don't like this. I'm bigger than the club, and I don't like this talking down to fans, telling us how we should think. Because actually, I think if any of you, Kev, whatever, had a chat with Lou Van Gaal, I think he'd be quite surprised on our knowledge of Manchester United, and I would say it's bigger than his. But the big issue with it is that he just doesn't seem to understand the fact that because we won yesterday, it was like I told you so, and we attacked. Well, Manchester United, you've got the right players. If you start playing attacking football, it's not hard. We will start to play better, but you can't change the past. And the reality is, for the last few weeks and yesterday, we don't create enough. And Scholes was right. And yes, he probably is empathising with the fans, but there's a lot of people who can make their own mind up, and we've been on about it for weeks.
Yeah, well, like we spoke about last week, Paul Scholes was absolutely spot on. Now, from Van Gaal's point of view, it's almost like it's just crap mind games that he's playing, and all he's doing is deflecting the truth, basically. He cannot listen to it, and all he's doing is deflecting it. I'll go back to the CSKA game, right? The board goes up. I've seen Fellaini warming up, so he's coming on. The board goes up, and Anthony Martial's number goes up, number 9. And as he comes up, I cannot remember the last time being at Old Trafford. I think I remember maybe an instance when once I think Ferguson brought Carlos Tevez off. I cannot remember the game. It's just stuck in my head, but I cannot remember. This was a lot more sort of hostile. And when that number went up, Martial off for Fellaini against CSKA, I mean, the boos that rang out, there was chance of you don't know what you're doing. And this was at 0-0. I mean, luckily we go on and Rooney scores. But for me, after that game, then the next morning when I read the evening news, the boos were purely for the substitution. It wasn't because Fellaini was coming on. It was because of the actual substitution. It was seen as negative. We're bringing off Anthony Martial that we spent a load of money on. We're trying to search for a goal, and we bring him off to bring Fellaini on. I was at the match. The boos rang out, and as Fellaini come on, they did cheer and clap, and they obviously clapped Martial. So it was clear that it was purely the decision that was booed. And the next day in the Manchester Evening News, Van Gaal come out and said the fans shouldn't be booing the players. If they've got any problem with me, it's me they should speak to, and it's me that they should be booing. And that's where I just thought, you're a bit lost there, mate, because they were booing you, and that's the substitution that you decided to make. I mean, luckily it worked out. We won the game, but the booing was purely for the decision to bring off a player like Anthony Martial and bring on Marouane Fellaini. And yeah, again, trying to deflect it, he's making out that the crowd were booing the fact that Fellaini was coming on, and just a bit lost. It gets to you, that kind of thing. Like you say, he's obviously thinks he is kind of bigger than the club, and one word just sums him up: is stubborn. He is stubborn, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, Stuart Marson says here, does anyone think the job is too big for Louis van Gaal? He's mad. He is mad, isn't he? I mean, he is mad. There's something in him that maybe just like Kev says there. How can he think that they're booing the players? Does he not? And I don't think he's being clever. I think he genuinely thinks that the fans were booing the players, and he doesn't. In the Louis van Gaal world, he farts gold, whatever. He really does think that. He is untouchable, and I mean he's doing well at the moment, but I think the Valdez thing in the summer, which me and Alex were watching on the US tour, where I outed him on the press, didn't like that. The response to West Ham last year with Sam Allardyce with facts. I mean, this was the sort of thing Rafa Benitez did in response to Sir Alex Ferguson, and we were all laughing at, saying he's had him there, and Louis van Gaal, Scholes has had him over this last 2 weeks, and he can't move past it. Every press conference he's mentioning it about Scholes. You're not going to turn the proper fans of Manchester United against Paul Scholes. You'll get the minority, you'll get the idiots who want to slag Scholes off and stick up for Van Gaal. If they want to do that, that's fine. It's called plastic, but you're never going to turn the proper fans against Paul Scholes, and he is desperate to do it. And he needs to just shut up, because he's doing well at the moment, but he needs to just stop it and put the club first and respect the fans, and it does stick in my claw a little bit. But Draughty Devil, Watford away, Leicester away, next 2 games. What should we be getting? What are you expecting?
I'll tell you what, Mark, I think we should definitely be picking up 6 points. I think it's one of those games you just kind of like, we really need to be like solid in attack and really get at the time. Claudio Ranieri, he's called the Tinker Man, but I'll tell you what, mate, it's fantastic. If we can get 6 points out of those next, sorry, wrong voice. I think if we're gonna get at the 2 teams, we really need to be looking at Watford as an easy 3 points. Leicester, I know where they are in the league. I think it's weird. Yeah, they're the same points as Man City and Arsenal, but I think we should be beating them as well. I can't see Jamie Vardy getting Ruud van Nistelrooy's record against us. That would be absolutely criminal. Is your nose okay, Mark? Just picking up on something there. But that's okay. But Jamie Vardy, everyone's saying he's like the next big thing. He's 28. He's not that great. He's just having a good run. I think it's the next 2 games we get 6 points, we end up top of the league. I think it's that simple. I think this is the moment. We've got through a hard month. We've done okay. You were worried about October, if you remember rightly.
Oh, we didn't get that many points.
No, but we're 2 points off top, and we got a load of easy games next up. So things are looking pretty good. I'm happy up until Christmas.
Yeah, you hate Christmas, don't you? Oh, I nearly made a religious joke then. I'm not. Move on.
Whoa.
No.
Okay, don't go on about my Jewish heritage, okay? That is none of your business.
Yeah, if you do it, that's fine. Daniel Nolan says, I'm Irish, terrible accent, Draughty. The Carrick fan says, you sounded Irish, so mixed opinion. Carrick fan's also worried about Leicester, so we can't take his opinion as valid. I'm only joking, mate. Captain Hindsight says, was it Welsh? But... These 2 games are, I think, 6 points for definite, Alex. We've got to be getting them. Smalling will put Vardy in his pocket unless Clattenburg is refereeing again. But 6 points. This is Watford and Leicester. I think Leicester are doing quite well. I tell you what I would say though is we'll learn a lot about Crystal Palace game away. Rubbish. Didn't create anything. If we have changed our philosophy slightly, which I don't think we have, under Moscow and West Brom, we'll definitely find out at Leicester what our philosophy is, because they will attack us.
Yeah, we're coming up against the 2 informed strikers in the league in the next 2 games with Jamie Vardy, obviously, who people really need to learn the difference between form and ability. People are saying in the comment section, if he against Newcastle, if he draws level with Van Nistelrooy's record, that is just going to be disgusting. And then he'll go against us to break the record, which would be even worse. And then that Watford striker, Gaal or something, I don't know how it's pronounced, but he's, I think, the second top goal scorer in the league, correct me if I'm wrong. So yeah, we are coming up against two. I think I'm not worried about us defensively because I really don't see them causing us any problems. Yeah, we slipped up last season with the 5-1, but our defence has come on leaps and bounds since then. But I think another thing is that people really need to give credit to Chris Smalling. Is I know people like rival fans don't rate him, but he's been playing with, like yesterday, for example, he played with a left winger and then 2 left backs and then just him as the only centre back. So put any, like, people were saying, like, just before this show, Koscielny, how he's miles better than Smalling and how he's the best centre-back in the league. I said, go put Alexis Sanchez in defence with him with Kieran Gibbs and Monreal and see how many clean sheets he keeps. So I really don't think Smalling gets enough credit. But, yeah, I really don't. I don't fear us conceding to them. I think we'll keep a clean sheet in both games. But the problem is us scoring against them. I think we'll score against Leicester because their defence is absolute trash. But Watford have actually been defending really well this season, so I'll worry about that game more than the Leicester one.
Yeah, I think Watford's the lunchtime kickoff as well, which is straight after the international break. But Chris MCR says, let's give Leicester their due. They're doing better than quite well. They're doing amazing. I mean, I'm old enough to remember Ranieri at Chelsea, and he never should have got the sack from there. That was just Abramovich coming in. I mean, they sack the Champions League winning managers, don't they, and double winning managers. So they're a horrible club, and they're getting what they deserve. And Mourinho has them by the balls at the moment. He's not been sacked because he's got a £30 million contract, and he'll blow that club wide open. So long may the misery continue. But Ranieri never ever should have been sacked. He was a good manager, and he's just doing at Leicester with he's doing really well. But Manchester United, with our squad, and I'm leading into Kev here, this all works. With our squad, Manchester United should be beating Watford and Leicester, and with our squad and our position, we should be winning this league. And my next question to Kev is, what are we going to win the league, Kev? Do you think we're going to win the league? Now, my thought is, with our team, we should be winning the league. Everyone else is stuttering. If we can be, at January, within 3 points of the top, we didn't spend all our money in the summer. Money should be spent in January, and we should win the league. If we don't win the league this season, it will be because of what Alex said there. We don't create enough chances.
Yeah, and I've always played off. I always said at the back we were looking solid. He was getting it right there. And again, I'm wishing every game that we're going to click in the final third. It isn't happening, but we're winning. So I'm quite happy in that sense. And I mean, touching back on something again, how many times under Sir Alex Ferguson did we used to say that we didn't even start playing football until January? So I'm kind of hanging off that kind of thing. I don't really know Van Gaal that well. And I know he's been in charge, it's his second season, but this is the first time now that he's getting a real taste of actually. There's no doubt that we're in there. We're definitely in with a shout here because, like you say, over to Chelsea, I mean, are well out of it. They are not in a title race this season. It had taken an absolute monumentous kind of run for them to get anywhere up really near the top 4. Now, Leicester, I would not expect to be up there. So I think it's going to be United, Arsenal and City, and from what I've seen from Arsenal and City, they're beatable. Especially we've got to play them, and why not? I think if anything, if we can start coming really good, then there's no reason why not. We're in a great position. We're 2 points off, and the run of games coming up now until Christmas, until we actually play Chelsea. I think on Boxing Day.
Well, that's definitely 3 points.
That's a dead cert, that one. No, like I said last week, they'll have found form by the time we play them, and everyone else will have taken the points off them. But yeah, I mean, all winnable games, and just touching back at Sir Alex Ferguson, we used to always say, didn't we? Oh, it didn't matter as long as we're in and around there, around Christmas time, and it comes to January, that's when we start playing then. But I just don't know what to expect under Van Gaal, but what a great position to be in. And like you say, the money he's spent, the squad that he's assembled, we should be pushing City and Arsenal, because what I've seen of them, they're not great. And like I said, they're beatable. So yeah, I think we're in with a chance. Could be getting ahead of ourselves slightly, because I did say that I think this season I predicted a top 4 finish, but if that top 4 finish is in first place, then that'd be great.
I think you've hit the nail on the head there, because I think that's exactly why people are saying, well, Chelsea are in an absolutely dire situation. We're 2 points off the top, and United fans are moaning and they're plastic. I mean, we've had this chat. If you know your football, we're moaning because I think, like Crystal Palace last week, Man City at home, 2 points from games where really we should have took at least 4. This side should be challenging for the title. We look around the league and nobody's staking a claim for it, and we've got good enough players to be winning the league, but we're not creating anything. That's why Man United fans are moaning. It's nothing. We're really happy being 2 points off the league. It's been a great weekend, but this team can do better. He just needs to let it loose a little bit, and that's not being plastic. It's just being a Man United fan. It's being wanting the best and greatness, and that's what Man United fans are about. And we can see the potential of this team. And although we're in a fantastic position, we've got a great run of games coming up till Christmas, we're 2 points off the top. I think by New Year's Day, we should be top of the league, spending money and going for the title. And if we're not, then I think Louis van Gaal needs to have a long, hard look at himself. That's not being ungrateful. That's not being plastic. That is being realistic and looking at the players that we've got and knowing for a fact that Sir Alex Ferguson, and you shouldn't live in the past, but even Ancelotti would win the league with that squad, hands down. And I don't care what anybody says about that, we would do. And just very quickly on Chelsea, I mean, we did dodge a bullet with Pedro, didn't we? Apparently, if you search Pedro on Google, it comes off with, do you mean Jesse Lingard? But we did dodge a bullet with that, and Louis van Gaal probably deserves some credit for that, to be fair. But that's it. International break is upon us. Unfortunately, it's 2 weeks until the next game, isn't it? Or just under. But we will be doing shows over the international break, so do keep an eye on us. Do like the video, subscribe if you are new. There'll be something going up midweek, either a Q&A or a Louis van Gaal video, something like that we want to do. But then next Monday, oh God, my computer's running late. Better plug that in. Next Monday we will have what we got. Drawty, go to you. You can do it.
Well, me and Mark have been discussing this for a little while. We're going to be starting a new show all to do with transfers and rumors. Everyone loves a good rumor. Everyone loves a good story. The back pages are littered every single week, from saying we're linked with Hakan Calhanoglu to Lionel Messi to Neymar. We want to get inside what fans want to hear, or what you think you want to hear, or you want to see at your club. So me and Mark have been talking about this. Mark, you could probably say a bit more than me now you got your computer sorted out. But, we want to get you guys involved, so over to you, Mark.
Yeah, thanks for that. Well timed. So basically what we're doing, next Monday, I'm going for 4 o'clock. Drawty's saying 6 o'clock, but next Monday at 4 o'clock, we will be releasing our new Transfer Weekly, where we'll basically be looking at Manchester United transfer news for that week. All I'm going to say is that, but also we started up the fan cams yesterday. Only Jonathan provided one. I probably didn't promote it as well as I should do, but do send those in after games and we'll put them up on the channel. The United Stand is your channel. It's always going to be that. But with this new Transfer Weekly thing, if you want to send us a video, short clip, 30 seconds, 15 seconds, about something that's transfer related, you can do that to us, unitedstandvideos@gmail.com. Send us something. You could be it's going to be a pre-recorded show anyway, obviously, if it's going up at 4 o'clock on a Monday, and you could appear on that video. So watch out for the next one, the first one, which will be a week on Monday. But if you want to send us some stuff in or get in contact with us about transfer news, we'll mention it because it's going to be very interactive. So lots of things we've got planned in the year 2 for the United Stand. We have been running about a year now, and things are going to change. The one constant will always be the Sunday show at 9 o'clock, and obviously the after-match reactions. But we've got some new things lined up. Same panelists, and obviously same old keeping in stuff, get in contact with you lot, because without you we are nothing. Thanks for coming on, Kev.
A pleasure as always. If you want to follow me on Twitter at KevinAshford7, thanks very much. Enjoyed that.
Yeah, thanks very much. For some reason we've lost the overlays. They used to have the overlays, but YouTube, they're a bit problematic. But thanks for coming on, Drawty.
It's an absolute pleasure, Mark. Thank you for having me on this today, and I can't wait for next Monday.
It gets better, doesn't he? And thanks for coming on, Alex.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, and boring international break, but hopefully the time passes quick.
Yeah, I hate the international break. Total waste of time as well. 2 friendlies, isn't it? I don't know where this one appeared from. I never remembered one in November. But I suppose you can go do your Christmas shopping. I'm going into accents now. Do your Christmas shopping. German market opens up in Birmingham on Thursday, so I'll certainly be taking a visit there. I don't know why I'm telling you all about what I'm doing. There's stalkers out there and all sorts. But stay safe. Keep an eye on the United stand. We will be on next Sunday at 9 o'clock because we'll be looking forward to the Watford game the following week. And obviously that next Monday is going to be really interesting. But keep getting involved, keep spreading the word, keep liking the videos, keep subscribing. You can only subscribe once, can't you? But spread the word. Thanks, everybody. It's the United Stand. It is your channel. And you'll just catch the last ever 5 minutes of Downton Abbey if you're really quick. United Stand, it is your channel.